I've got here the Chaos Lord from Blackstone Fortress. I'll be assembling him using a craft knife and cutters, some polystyrene cement. I've also got some rocks and some super glue to add to the base if I feel like it. So I'm going to start by separating him from the sprue and cleaning all the mould lines using the craft knife. So I'll be back in a second, ready to assemble the model. So with all the parts cleaned, I'm ready to assemble the model. This is a fairly simple, almost easy to build level model. There's 5 pieces, the front and back, which go together pretty simply, but do have pegs. So there's 2 ways of handling pegs. Either you cut them off like I am right now, in order to not have to deal with all of that, or you shave them down or soften them with plastic glue. So I got a bit of plastic glue, run it around the edge there as well, and pop this fella together. Come on, let's get him good and in. Which gives you most of the model, to be fair. However, looking at this, you've got to attach this before you glue them together. So I've popped that apart. So that's a pain. So arm piece, like that. And yeah, I can see why this is going to be a real pain if you don't clip the pegs off, because then you've got 2 big pegs to connect in as well. So that fits together like that. You've got this, which goes on like that, and with a bit of glue softening the peg will give you the chance to move it a little bit more. But yeah, this fella goes on there. And that's the basic pose done. You got the backpack, which goes on like that, but I'm going to leave separate so that I can paint all this fur to a reasonable standard and do the shoulder trim without this backpack getting in the way. It does, however, go on and go off quite easily. So I'm now going to line up where he's going to go on the base. That's nice and central. If you are painting this by pieces, you're probably going to have to paint each piece separately because of how the thunder hammer goes across the body. I think I can probably do a reasonable paint job getting in there, but other people may wish to go piece by piece just to be sure. So, bit of glue. And in there, and then we've got a little wrecked servo skull, bit of glue, and having stuck the main guy down first, that's a bit more of a pain. But doable. So now I'm just going to get a couple of rocks and add them to the base. And that's really just to make it a little more three-dimensional. I'm going to put some sand on it in a minute. I'm not going with the Blackstone Fortress style basin because I'm mainly going to be using these guys in 40k and kill team. So I do want a nice urban sort of effect of rocks and sand that I can then paint up as urban rubble. So looking at the model, it is easy to build level assembly. It is quite easy, it goes together quite nicely. It's good and imposing, so you can compare it to one of the Death Guard characters and it's the same height. You can compare it to this Death Guard Terminator Lord, and yeah, he's shorter and slighter, but he's not tiny. And let's grab a Primaris. You compare him to a Primaris and they're a similar height, though the Primaris does have a wider stance. Let's grab a small Marine and compare that to Mark III armour, which is, to be fair, reasonably tall for power armour Marines. Nice model. Really glad they included it in Blackstone. Gives you a nice preview of what's coming in the Chaos range in 2019. Look forward to painting it up. If you've enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. If you want to chat, leave a comment below, but otherwise, good gaming.